Operated bus 2104.
Go ahead.
I have a very ruling passenger who just threatened to blow my head off.
Whispering out of fear, GRTC bus driver Wayne Harvell called dispatch on October 11th for help.
I said, there's a precinct on Chamberlain. I can stop in front of that precinct and get an officer.
No, that's a negative. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Just pull over to State Spot. And I have someone to assist you. What is the passenger doing in 2104?
He took his mask down and started eating, and I asked him to put his mask up. And now he's threatening me.
Go ahead, pull over, and go ahead, open your door in the back. And stand by for a second.
As you can see in this security footage, Harvell stopped the bus here on the edge of Gilpin Court, got out, and waited for help.
And this is right before the start of the fight.
But as the wait got longer and longer, the passenger approached Harvell and threw a punch.
The guy raised his hands. Now they're in a fight.
The incident lasted for about 5 minutes, with Harvell trying to hold off the passenger and the two going from outside the bus to inside the bus and back off again.
See that right there? That was, realize my client was afraid this guy had a gun because he said he was going to shoot him.
A passerby intervened to stop the fight at one point, but even after Harvell tried to get the attacker to stop, the passenger took another swing.
This is a fight for his life. There's no question about that. When you look at the video, it is a fight for his life.
Harvell ended up on the ground getting kicked in the head multiple times, and yet GRTC ended up suspending him without pay for 1 day. Initially, the bus company said there was one moment when Harvell could have used better de-escalation techniques during the encounter. But while working on our initial story about the incident, the CEO of GRTC, Julie Tim, reversed that position.
But first, let me start with an apology.
They ultimately found Harvell did everything he should have done, but the story did not end there.
I come to find out later on that the public apology wasn't sincere.
Kimberly Harvell spoke with CBS 6 on behalf of her husband because she says he fears retribution from GRTC.
He did go back to work, kept saying that the glare off the windshield was making his head hurt. The severe headaches was just continuous, 24 hours a day, 7 days. The ringing in his ears. When he finally did see the neurologist told him you have a severe concussion.
The diagnosis put him out of work, so he applied for workers' comp, but GRTC denied the claim.
Their defense is that there's a couple of occasions where he could have potentially retreated and extricated himself from the fight, maybe backed into the bus, shut the door, or something like that.
Harvell's attorney, Sean Kavanaugh, says they have since filed the claim with the Virginia Workers' Compensation Commission, where a commissioner will decide if he deserves to have his medical bills and lost wages paid.
He's the sole provider for our family. I'm a stay-at-home mom. We have 2 children with special needs. We're struggling at this time. It's really affecting our family. Our savings that we had is gone.
He's on the bottom again.
We showed the case and video to Professor J.H. Verkerke.
This is really very sad.
A law professor at UVA who heads the Department for Employment Labor Law Studies.
Seems utterly inconclusive to me concerning the fundamental legal question, which is whether the driver instigated or was a willing participant in the altercation.
He says GRTC bears the burden of proof to show Harvell acted with willful misconduct, and if they can't, the commissioner must find in favor of Harvell.
Does this look like an instigator? I would say no, definitely not. Is he a willful participant? That's a harder question. I think that's informed by the question of what's the best way to defend yourself against what was obviously a very threatening situation. And I have a lot of sympathy for the driver's predicament. I cannot imagine what I would do in that circumstance.
Kimberly hopes the commissioner will do what she feels is only fair, approve the claim.
I can't tell you how many times my phone has rang in the middle of the night with them calling because they needed help. They needed someone, they needed him to cover a run, to drive for them because they didn't have enough drivers. Now when he needs help, they don't care about him.
Now, in a statement to CBS 6, a GRTC spokesperson says the bus company does not approve or deny workers' compensation claims, but the insurance carrier does. And they tell us that, quote, an administrative decision by GRTC's CEO regarding fault or discipline has no bearing on whether the facts of the case meet the legal requirements for workers' compensation benefits. The case is still under judicial review. Working for you, I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.